Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday 5 Live. Another segment is here. Gosh, the weeks just go so fast. I know I say this every week, but it's just crazy to me that we are almost through the second month of the year. So today I'm going to be talking about 10 daily routines for awesome health. And the reason I want to do this today is that we are going to be coming into the colder months very soon. So beginning of March is kind of, I guess, when autumn starts. And I know that, we've still got a lot of nice weather to come and it's still going to be nice and warm for a while. But I think it's good to just talk about this in advance so that you can sort of prepare yourself for those colder months. And I want to talk about some really good and simple daily habits or routines that you can introduce into your day to make sure that you are, getting the best possible health that you can, okay? The first one is to drink between 2 and 2.5 litres of water a day. I know that water is talked about a lot, but it's for a really, really good reason. So the average adult needs roughly between 2 and 2.5 litres a day. That is to keep the body hydrated, it's to keep the circulation going, it's to flush out all the toxins, it's to keep your cells doing their job and the muscles doing their job. Hydration is really, really important. Hey Tanya, thanks for watching. You probably need even a little bit more than that if it's really, really hot, like we've been having some really hot weather. So be mindful about how much water you're drinking. And also if you're a physically active person, you're probably going to need a little bit more than that. So 2 to 2.5 litres a day for the average person. If it's super hot and you're being really active, you're going to need some more. The test for whether you are drinking enough is that your urine should run clear. If it's got a yellow tinge to it, even the slightest yellow tinge, it shows that you're a little bit dehydrated. If it's really yellow, you're totally dehydrated and you need to scull some more water. So that's the first one. First daily routine is drink between 2 and 2.5 litres of water a day. The second one is get 80% of your calories from carbohydrates. So by carbohydrates, I'm talking about simple and complex carbohydrates, not refined carbohydrates. So simple and complex carbs are the ones that release slowly in the body. They give you fuel. So we're talking about lots of fruit, lots of veggies, lots of whole grains. This should make up the bulk of your diet. If you're one of those low carb people, go back to my video last week and watch, it was called Step Away from the High Fat Diets. Go and watch that if you're afraid of carbs. Carbs are essential. They are the main fuel source for your body, and your body goes into it develops some pretty serious problems when you start to limit your carbohydrate intake. Hey Kerry, thanks for tuning in. Okay, so that's the second one. Eat 80% of your calories from carbohydrates, okay? Do not be afraid of carbs. Of course, I'm not talking about pastries and donuts and biscuits. That's a whole different thing. We're not talking about that at all. Third, and this goes along with what I've just said about high carb, is follow a low fat diet. We do not want a high fat diet. Again, this is the video I recorded last week, which had quite a lot of interest, by the way, and I'm not surprised. As we know, high fat diets are really trendy at the moment. They are also really, really damaging. So go back and watch that video if you've got any questions around high fat, low carb. It's so bad for you. Okay, so as we talked about last week, a high fat diet is really problematic in the body. It just causes so many issues. Go back and watch that video because I don't want to go through that whole thing again. I've already talked about it. Okay, so that's number 3, follow a low fat diet. Number 4 is do some light exercise. So if you're someone who's feeling quite busy, overwhelmed, maybe you've got a bit of background stress going on, please don't think that you need to go and do high intensity exercise. This is a really big problem that is happening, actually quite a lot, especially with women. So women are feeling like they're being lazy if they're not doing high intensity exercise. They've been sold this this theory that, you know, high intensity exercise is going to help them lose body fat. If you're in really good shape, like if you're feeling really on top of your game, and you'll know if you are, if you feel like you're thriving and you're feeling good physically, mentally and emotionally, then you can do whatever you like. Like you can go off and do that high intensity exercise, you can do ultra marathons, whatever, you know, you go for it. If you're not feeling great, if you've got anything physical going on in the body, if you're mentally struggling, if your emotions are all over the place, or you've got some background stress going on, please don't go and do high intensity exercise. What it does is it actually puts your body under more stress, and that can push you closer to illness. Okay, so in terms of exercise, what I'm saying is do some light exercise if you can manage it. And by light exercise, I'm talking about like go for a walk around the block. You know, it can be a stroll, or go and do some like really simple basic yoga stretches or something really low impact. If you can go for a walk and if you feel good and you can pick up the pace and you can go for a little bit longer, that's great. But just keep an eye on how you're feeling. So if you're doing exercise that is wiping you out afterwards, or it's making you sore, fatigued, and you feel like it's just another chore, then that's a signal that you're probably doing too much, okay? Remember, your body's talking to you all the time. So if exercise is not giving you energy and pep, then you're probably doing the wrong type of exercise for your state of stress at the current time, okay? So if you're feeling like you're just, you know, things are not 100% with your health, just go for a light walk if you can manage it. Okay, number 5 is stick to a palm-sized piece of meat per day max, okay? Now, obviously this is a plant-based page, so obviously I endorse the plant-based diet. But of course, if you want to eat meat, that's absolutely fine, but you just have to be careful about how much you actually have. So remember that too much meat in the system will strip your gut of essential stomach acids, which creates a whole lot of other problems. I talked about this last week as well. So you want to be sticking to a palm-sized piece per day. So that's your palm and the thickness of your palm. You shouldn't be having more than that every day, okay? And if you can limit it to like every second day or every third day, or if you can go meat-free, that's amazing. So just be careful about how much meat you're eating, because high animal protein equals high fat, okay? And remember, we want to follow a low-fat diet. Even the lean cuts of meat, like say turkey or chicken, is still high in saturated fat, okay? High protein equals high fat. Okay, number 6 is knock alcohol on the head during the week. Okay, so we want to be trying to not drink alcohol at all during the week. If you have to, if you want to, have a couple of glasses on the weekend and then leave it. So the problem that we're seeing with people is that they're getting into that habit of, you know, a glass of wine or 2, or a beer or 2 each night after work. It becomes a habit. And then slowly, gradually, without them really realizing it, it's become a crutch. Hey Michelle, thanks for tuning in. Okay, so alcohol, even though you think you've got it under control, you're only having 1 or 2 a night, it easily becomes a crutch. And then all of a sudden you realize that it's affecting your sleep, it's affecting your waistline, maybe affecting your relationships, it's definitely affecting your bank balance. The list goes on and on. But just remember that alcohol is a toxin in the body. I don't care how many times the alcohol industry tell you that red wine is good for you. It's not. It's not good for you. If you want to get the benefits from resveratrol and red wine, go and eat the grapes, because the goodness of the grapes is offset by the alcohol content. Okay, so this is the alcohol industry manipulating you into buying their product. Alcohol is not good for you, okay? It's a toxin, it's a liver loader, it will nail your liver over time. If you enjoy alcohol, that's fine, but just try not to drink it during the week. And if you do, maybe just once, you know, like on a special occasion or something like that, leave it to the weekend. Of course, ideally you want to be, you know, very, very careful about how much alcohol you're drinking, because it does easily become that thing that you just start to rely on. and all of a sudden you've got a bit of a problem with it. Okay, so that's number 6, knock alcohol on the head during the week. Number 7 is find a way to address the root cause of your stress. Okay, this is so important. Whatever stress you've got going on in your life, whether it's relationship, financial, work, obviously there's pandemic stress, which is something that we really can't control. But think about the things that you can control, and you need to remove yourself from the root cause of that stress as much as possible, because every time you're exposed to that stress, your body releases stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline to keep you safe, okay? And that leads to all these other problems, okay, when your body's got too many stress hormones going on. So remember that, and I've talked about this before, unresolved stress, whether it's current or historical, manifests as physical symptoms in the body. Okay, so stress hormones can manifest as physical symptoms like pain, migraines, gut problems. You know, it's a big problem. So you've really got to think about what's the root cause of stress in your life and how can you deal with it. You can have the best diet in the world. You can be exercising every day. You can be doing all the right things, but if you've got background stress, your body is always going to be in fight or flight mode or survival mode, because it's releasing stress hormones all the time. If you've got if you're dealing with a stressful situation during the day, this is a really great little strategy for you. And it's one that I used consistently when I was really unwell, is grab yourself a foam roller. You know, those long foam rollers, otherwise known as a posture rehab device. And what you can do is you can lie on it vertically. So your spine is along the roller. You've got your head on the roller. Your knees are bent and your feet are on the floor. Okay. So what this does, if you imagine that you're lying back on your foam roller and the position that your body is in. So the roller is obviously underneath your spine. So what it does is it's opening up your rib cage, which is allowing the oxygen to flow through the body. And what that does is it signals to the body that it's safe. Okay, so when you've got oxygen flowing through the body nice and easily and you're doing some nice deep breathing, your body goes out of fight or flight and into rest, digest, repair. Okay, which is what you want to do. Your body's not designed to be in fight or flight all the time. It's designed to go into fight or flight occasionally to get you out of trouble, but then you're supposed to go back into rest, digest, and repair. And the problem is that because people are so busy and so stressed now, they're living in fight or flight all the time, which is completely wrecking their adrenal system, because, as we just mentioned, the adrenal system has to constantly pump out stress hormones. So the foam roller one is a really great one. If you're having one of those days and you're just like, oh my God, I can't deal with this, get yourself a foam roller, lie back, close your eyes. Even better is to put some earbuds in and listen to a really nice meditation at the same time. Okay, it's a really great way to relax. I can't overestimate this. It was a lifesaver for me when I was really sick. I had a lot of anxiety around that time, and it really helped me. I did it probably twice a day for 15 minutes at a time. So that's a really good strategy if you've got daily, stressful things going on. But really you've got to address the root cause, figure out what that root cause is, and you've got to get on top of it. Okay, number 8 is know what's in your food. So we have a problem these days with the food and beverage industry are really sneaky, and they're really, I like to say that they're behaving badly. So what they're doing is, by law, they have to label all their food. So you'll see nutritional labels on the back of all your products that you buy at the supermarket, but they kind of get away with being a bit sneaky because they put names and numbers on there that nobody really understands. So for example, if you turn your package over when you're at the supermarket, okay, say you buy a packet of rice crackers, turn it over, look at the label, you start to see what's in there. Some of the things are obvious, okay, they'll say like wheat or corn or something like that, but then you'll see like number 621 or number 223, and you're like, what the hell does that mean? Well, every one of those numbers and letters means something. and I really recommend that you get educated on what these are. Okay, so for example, anything in the 600s, like 621, 673, or whatever it is a flavor enhancer. And usually flavor enhancers are MSG, which are it's a carcinogen. It's been proven to cause cancer. It's that flavoring that makes things really yummy, like potato chips, or you know, you imagine like a nice cheesy potato chip or something like that. That's usually MSG. And if you feel like you want to keep going back, it's because it's addictive. And it's really, really bad for you. So there's actually a numbering system that you can access online. It's called the International Numbering System for Food Additives. If you go and Google that, you'll come up with a table and it will tell you what all those numbers and letters mean. It's quite comprehensive. So just go for the basic version and then start educating yourself on what all those numbers and letters mean, so that when you go to the supermarket, you can know exactly what you're picking up and what you're actually eating. Okay, so there's, you know, a lot of health problems these days are being caused by artificial colors, flavors, additives, preservatives, which are not natural. They're all man-made in a laboratory, and really we shouldn't actually be eating them. Every now and then, of course, excuse me, is okay, but the problem is that people are eating this stuff all the time. Okay, so that's number 8, know what's in your food. Number 9 is make sure that you are supplementing your diet correctly. Excuse me, I got something in my throat. So ideally we want to be getting all our nutrients from our food, but the reality is that most of us are busy. We don't always eat, you know, the way that we should be. And we've got soil that is deteriorating in quality. So there's 2 supplements that I really recommend to everybody. They are great for overall health and well-being. First one is vitamin B12. The Clinician's brand is really good. So ideally you want a dropper or a spray. It goes directly into the mouth, and that's more readily absorbed by the body. Just keep in mind that even if your blood tests are showing you that you've got enough B12, it doesn't mean that it's being utilized properly by your central nervous system. Okay, so this is where conventional medicine's kind of missing a piece of the puzzle, is that you might get a blood test going, yep, my B12's fine, but it doesn't mean it's being used by the body correctly, especially if you've got a liver problem, which is a whole other subject. I'm not going to go there today. But B12 is a great one for everyone. It's a bit of a myth that meat eaters get all the B12 they need. They don't, because a lot of meat eaters are actually deficient. This is great for everyone, particularly if you're on a plant-based diet. Second one is liquid zinc sulfate. This is a great one. Again, just drops. I put this into my into my smoothies or my smoothie bowls, and then I can't even taste it. Liquid zinc is great for your liver. It's great for reducing the viral load in the body. It's great for skin. Another overall great one for health and well-being. So those are the 2 supplements we recommend to everybody. There are a couple of others, but they're the main 2. So supplementation is a good idea. And the last one is to follow a good wind down routine for bedtime. So you could be following a really great diet, you could be exercising well, you could be on top of your stress, feeling, you know, you're pretty much doing everything right. But if you're not sleeping properly, everything else is going to fall apart. So think about how you feel even after one night of a really crappy sleep. You know, for me, I know that that's enough to completely wreck my whole day, even if it's just one night. And I'll be trying to find some time during the day to have a nap. People are learning to function on way less sleep than they should be having. So like we get clients who are having like 5 hours a night, or sometimes even less. And then they kind of wonder why life's not working particularly well. Sleep is so essential. And remember, it's your number 1 tool for weight loss. Okay, so your body sheds body fat when it feels safe and it's able to sleep correctly. Okay, that's when it's doing its repair work and its recovery work, and that's when it will feel safe and it will start to shed body fat. So if you're not sleeping properly, you can't expect to lose body fat. Okay, so this brings me to our wind down routine. Make sure you're following a good routine at night. With our clients, we give everyone a wind down routine, including things like chamomile tea, hot baths. You know, make sure that you're coming off your electronic devices a good 30 minutes before bed. The blue light from the phones and the Kindles and the smartphones, the iPads, stimulate your cortisol, which is your alert hormone, and then that works against you when it comes to sleep. Okay, you don't want your alert hormone being high at night. You want it to be low so that you can go to sleep. Okay, so really important to make sure that if you've had a busy day, if you're a bit wound up, you need to find a way to wind down before bed, and then that will encourage you to be able to get into a deep, restful sleep. Okay, so that's it. Quick recap: 10 things, 10 daily routines for awesome health. Number 1, drink between 2 and 2.5 litres of water a day. Number 2, make 80% of your calories from carbohydrates, okay? Simple and complex carbohydrates, not refined carbohydrates. Follow a low-fat diet, okay? Probably as a percentage, ideally 10%. And unfortunately, on what we call the standard American diet, or the SAD, people are eating like 25%, sometimes more, 30% fat every day. It's, yeah, this is why we've got a population of very sick people. Light exercise, don't go and do high intensity exercise if you're not feeling on top of your game. A walk around the block or some little stretches, or, you know, something light is ideal. Palm-sized piece of meat per day max, less if possible. Knock alcohol on the head during the week. Try and keep your alcohol to the weekend only. And you know, if you can forego it altogether, that's even better, but 1 or 2 glasses on the weekend is okay. Try not to drink it during the week. It's going to screw with your sleep. Find a way to address the root cause of stress. Whatever it is in your life that you need to address, you need to do it. Remember that every time you're faced with that stressful situation, your body releases stress hormones, which puts you into survival mode, and that leads to a whole lot of other health problems. Number 8 is know what's in your food. Get educated on the numbering system that the food and beverage industries use, so that you know what's going into your food, and you can be more discerning about the foods that you're buying. Supplementation, these 2, liquid zinc, sulfate and vitamin B12 every day. And then finally, follow a good wind down routine for bed so that you can get a nice deep restful sleep. So that's it for today, guys. I've gone way over my 5 minutes, 22 minutes. That must be a record. Always so much to talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that was useful. Again, let me know if there's any topics you want me to cover. I kind of just come up with things randomly depending on what's going on around me. Yeah, if you've got any suggestions or anything that you want me to talk about, please let me know. As always, a lot of the stuff is in our book. I don't know why it's always reversed. I don't know what's going on there, but it's always backwards. From living health to living well. All the stuff that I talk about is, you know, generally covered in here in some shape or form. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back same time, same place next week. Any questions, pop them in the comments, and yeah, have a great day, everyone. Bye.